great. So our next presenter, this is actually his 20,000th 5 minutes of fame presentation. His first 5 minutes of presentation he wrote on a very confused brontosaurus. And his name is Jared Bendis. His project is the Great Furby Project, and he's coming to us from Case Western Reserve University.
Hey everybody. Thank you. So my name's Jared Bendis. I'm here to talk to you about the Great Furby Project. So I teach a course called Living the Digital Age, which used to be called New Media Literacy, but nobody signed up for it when it was called that. And part of this class, we do all sorts of topics around new media, and at some point during the semester, I bring Teddy Ruxpin to class to talk about a thought exercise with artificial intelligence. And I thought, hey, I'd love to have my students do something more, but I don't want them doing any production. So how can I sort of mix it up a little bit? And then this little baby hit the market, and I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a really easy assignment. Buy a Furby, keep a blog. Now, it's going to be a little bit more than that, and of course, this is a terrible assignment, as you know, because this is the new 2013 Furby versus the 2014 Furby Boom, or the 2012 anyway. So you buy a Furby, keep a blog. Now, these are very directed activities. I don't even let them put batteries in the Furby for the first couple of weeks, and they're not allowed to read anything about Furbies at all. They're supposed to live in the dark and truly explore this toy, and yes, they are freshmen and sophomores in college. So the first assignment's really easy. First, I want to meet my class. There they are. There's no FERPA regulations about showing their Furbies. All right, so first they have to introduce their Furby. They pick a color, they engender their Furby, they name their Furby, and this is part of the assignment, is they got to sort of build a personality around the Furby before they put the batteries in. Then they theorize about what a virtual pet could be. What would the functionality be if it could do anything? They dream about it. They even decide what sort of personalities they wish it would have. We see over here some guys in a tux, though we actually have some do bow ties. Somebody asked if they could shave their Furby. That's another story. Then when the Furbies are on, they learn to explore Furby and music. They learn to explore the multiple Furby personalities that happen in the new Furbies. And then eventually they're allowed to start playing with the Furby app. They learn Furbish. They learn to explore. They learn to actually look around and see what's going out there. Now, some of these are, again, more theoretical. Towards the end of the semester, they're told that the world has come to an end and all that's left is the Furby. What would the Furby say about the society as we know it? Usually it's like, they put me in a closet. Now, one of the most exciting projects that the kids loved would be the Furby picture story, where they had to tell a story using only 3, 4, or 5 images. I'm going to take you through a few of them. First of all, we have Dusk's story. Now, normally I would call, but the kid was well adjusted. All right, let's go watch it. Let's look at the Great Cracker Heist. This is the best assignment. Delilah takes a shower. There you go. Furby overreacts when Bracket loses. All right. A lot of them the Furby die in. Other Furby blog entries, they are to do a Furby hoax to design an Easter egg. They're supposed to announce an Easter egg that doesn't exist about their Furby. Design a new Furby sense. Write a letter to Hasbro. And finally, write a final reflection. Here's some examples. It's a Furby. It stops being cool 10 minutes after you turn it on, so you might as well do something more fun with it, like the blog, which I enjoy because of the amount of fun and creativity that you can have with it. There's probably a reason why we were told to keep a Furby blog beyond what could possibly be considered as sadism. Overall, I think the reason boils down to the fact that the Furby blog required us to interact with our Furby in a more tangible way and actually get into the assignment. The Furby provided continuity, which allowed more detailed analysis and a better understanding of the weekly topic. So they ran in parallel to there was a regular course. This was their textbook, and these just ran as side assignments. Now, the first time I did this, all the students kept their Furbies because they wanted to sell them to the next class. But like every good professor, I changed the textbook and went from the regular Furby to the Furby Boom. So the aftermath is a little something like this. I didn't take this photo. One of my coworkers found this photo. They're like, I think Jared's class has been around here. One of my students, because they now know, like, the Furbies are not worth anything to the next class because Hasbro's going to keep coming out with new ones. And then, of course, they did this. I provide catharsis for students at the end of the semester. So anyway, this is the Great Furby Project. This is what 21 Furbies look like at the same time. That's my class. Thank you very much.